Hey guys, Bradley here. Welcome. We're going to talk about Palantir in this video. I actually recorded this video last night, and although my feelings haven't changed on where Palantir is and where its price is going, Palantir had quite a price move today in the market. So I'm going to update you on where I think Palantir's stock price is headed at the end of this video. So make sure you watch to the end to get my updated price prediction on Palantir. Enjoy. Let's get started with this Palantir video, guys. What are my thoughts on this stock? How is Q4 earnings going to affect this stock price? And how do I feel about the share lockup period expiring in about 2 weeks? Last week, Palantir broadcast their hour-long demonstration. It covered their three it covered their three software frameworks: Foundry, their commercial data analytics platform; Gotham, their government platform, super cool; and Apollo, their proprietary interface that lets people use the Gotham and Foundry software. I'll have a link actually to the description of this video where you can go watch the demo day for yourself. It's about an hour long. It's pretty cool. The first part is boring as shit. It's about Foundry, the commercial software that they use for businesses. The second part is super dope. It's where they talk about Gotham, their government stuff. It looks like a video game. You guys should really check it out. So the demonstration was a success. The stock shot up 25%. Demonstration was this day, and then the stock shot up all the way up to $44 a share and then fell back down pretty quickly. So it's interesting. I was not surprised to see the stock move up. I was a little bit surprised to see it fall back down that quickly, but I think that's because people are waiting for the earnings report. People are waiting for the share lockup period to expire, and that's sort of the holding pattern that we're in. Once again, we've seen this before for 2 months. If we zoom out a little bit, we saw this for this whole period here. People were just waiting for this sort of 2 weeks happening right now where people didn't know what the demo day was going to look like. People didn't know what the share lockup period was going to do, and people didn't know what the earnings report was going to be. The demo day is done. Now we've got two catalysts left. I think that it was pretty clear that there was profit taking that could have happened at $40 a share when it peaked up here. That's been my price target for a long time. Now, because of this channel, because I'm sort of such a Palantir bull, I decided not to sell my shares, even though I knew that was probably the top, and it sort of fell back down. But that's fine. I'm long Palantir, so it's all good. Notably, however, the stock has settled into what used to be its all-time high. Right here at $32 a share. That's where we are right now. It's not quite indicated because it happened intraday, but the all-time high used to be $32 a share. Almost like literally exactly where we are right now. It was like $32.50. And then like a week later, it tried to test that again, but a little less. And then a couple weeks later, it tried to test it again, and it just was never able to break through that resistance. Now we finally broken through the resistance, and now we're settling back into sort of the new framework of Palantir stock. What used to be the $25, $27 sort of range was where the stock liked to be. Now, clearly, the stock wants to settle at this sort of $32 range. If we zoom in just a little bit, let's go to the 1 month view. This range right here, $32 a share. Whereas, for the past 2 months, $21 was the low, $27 was the sort of midpoint, and $32 up here was the high. I think now it's almost the same framework, but it's just been ratcheted up $5, meaning that now the low is about $25, $27. The midpoint is about $32 where we are here, and the high is now about $40. This all may sound obvious, but I think that if we use this new framework and combine it with the previous behavior of Palantir stock, we can get a sort of feel for how the stock is going to move going into earnings, how the stock is going to move going into the share lockup period. I think that Palantir is going to have an earnings beat with all these contracts that Palantir has bragged about over all the last 2-3 months. I would be shocked, quite frankly, if they don't just crush earnings and raise guidance, okay? They have deals all over the world because of COVID, for example, amongst deals with the Army, the FDA, all sorts of things that happened in Q4. However, the market is also anticipating that. So it's like great news. I think they're going to have an earnings beat, but I also think that the market is ready for it, For that reason, if they have an earnings beat, we may not see the pop that we would like to see. I think if they miss earnings, it will crash the stock. So I have high expectations combined with this share lockup period, which is happening 3 days after the earnings call. And I think this creates a situation where there is a possibility for a run up into next week, but we could then have a sell-off after the earnings call in anticipation of the share lockup period. I can't predict the future, of course, and this is just my educated guess. What I'm seeing is the pricing landscape of Palantir now being very similar to where it was a month ago, 2 months ago. It's just $5 higher. So Palantir is now a $60 billion company. We have to sort of keep this in mind. I have for a while set an sort of optical price parity target of Palantir drawing even with Snowflake. They're both AI, both very well-known companies, recently IPO'd. I could see Palantir at Snowflake's valuation. That would put Palantir at about $45 a share, which it just barely touched. It's funny that right up here. It's funny that its new all-time high is $45, and $45 to represent almost an exact same valuation of Snowflake. So $45 for those sort of reasons is my next price target, I'd say, for Palantir. And gosh, we've come a long way. I remember when my price target was $18 a share. That was back when it was $13 a share trading it. We're clearly in a bit of a holding pattern here at $32 a share, as we can see right here. If something goes sideways and we fall, I think that $27 right in here would be the floor. If the stock starts tanking, I would be buying it when it gets back into the high 20s. Therefore, that being said, I'm happy with Palantir at $30 a share. Now, I expect volatility in the next 2 weeks with earnings and share lockup period expiring. I don't think it's a sure thing that Palantir moons if they have an earnings beat, because like I said, everyone is sort of anticipating an earnings beat. However, $32 looks a lot like $27 did a month ago. And had you invested in Palantir at $27, you could have actually realized gains of really a significant amount. Okay, I mean like 50% or more. So if it's me, I'm looking at 27 for a low. If it gets there, I'm buying more shares. I see $32 as our sort of midpoint, and I see $40 to $45, let's say, as our sort of high point, our aspirational target. Especially if they have a massive increase in guidance in their earnings call next week, $45 might be in play. Also note, their earnings call is for February 16th in the morning before the market opens. It's been unknown until just a couple days ago, but they've announced that officially it's going to be February 16th a.m. That's official, okay? Hey guys, I'm back. Okay, so today is today, and today's price action shows that there's still a lot of desire to own Palantir stock in anticipation of the Q4 earnings report happening on the 16th, in spite of the share lockup period expiring the following Monday. I think that this 34, 32 would be great range is a fine time to invest if you're going to be holding this stock for at least a couple months, because if there is a shakeout at the earnings report, I feel confident that it will recover after the share lockup period happens without that much time having elapsed. I mean, I don't even think by summer will the stock regain its all-time highs. I feel like we're settling into a situation where the downside is somewhere around $27 a share, okay? But the upside is $45 a share or more. I would prefer if the stock was still back down at $32 a share, but even with this run up of about 6% today, I could see it running pretty hot going into earnings with the anticipation that there's going to be an earnings beat. If we do fall back down, I think it's going to fall back down to just, $32, $31 a share. I think that we could be sort of in a holding pattern with the expectation that this stock could actually run up either into or after the earnings report, with perhaps maybe a sell-off going into the share lockup period expiring the next Monday. But man, next Friday to next Monday is going to be a really interesting time for Palantir stock. If you got something out of this video, like the video, subscribe to my Patreon, where you can hear about the stocks that I'm picking before I make YouTube videos about them, and you can look at my own personal stock portfolio. It's been doing really well this year. Use the Patreon link down below. If you want to pick up your 2 free stocks and be able to trade in pre-market as early as 4 a.m. Eastern time, sign up for the Webull link using the link down below. You get 2 free stocks valued at up to $1,600. If you want to watch my last video on Palantir, you can watch that here. And until next time, you guys take care, and I'll see you real soon. Peace.